year. I'm a painter from New Mexico, but I live in Michigan. In fact, September of 2014 marks 30 years of me living, exploring, and painting in Michigan's Upper Peninsula.
The city of Marquette was named for Father Marquette, a 17th century Jesuit priest. It was built on Lake Superior to ship the iron ore from the region's mines. It's this rugged Lake Superior coastline that people love, and I love to paint. Let's get going. I'm going to paint from this scene. This is Presque Isle Park along Lake Superior, a local favorite. I'm mixing my phthalo blue with my titanium white, and I'm going to start painting the sky. Here add a little bit of yellow to that blue color. It's important not to make your sky too consistent and boring. I'm dragging the stripes of paint through one another with the knife to get them to mingle and mix. This makes a really cool stormy look. Fortunately, it's not the look I'm going for. I'm not going to leave it like that. I'm going to mount that stormy sky. I'm going to use a couple of different knives here. I like this really big round one. It makes a lot of coverage and makes for a nice smooth field of color. There, isn't that nice? Now I'm cutting in the horizon where the water line meets the sky. I'm just going to gently touch where I think the horizon should be and pull down and get it to kind of thin out and blend a little bit. Sorry about the dumb camera angle. I hope you're enjoying my nose and maybe some of my background paintings. Now I'm adding some green. If you've ever seen Lake Superior, you'll know why I'm adding the green. I add the white in here to kind of accentuate that green, make it pop a little bit. I'm just going to continue painting on this water for a little bit. Little blue, little green. Using this teardrop shaped knife to blend in the horizon and the water line and make it just a little bit fuzzy. Now I'm going to start cutting in the shape of the trees and the landmass. I'm using a dark purple paint. It looks black on here, but I've never used black. Now I'm taking the same purple color, but mixed in with some white, so it makes a nice neutral lavender. This will be a good base for the shadows of the trees I'm going to put in a little bit later. I'm going to add some green to the trees. I mix my own greens. I don't ever buy a tube of green paint. Right here I've got cadmium yellow light mixed in with my phthalo blue. Here's my favorite part. I just love adding this bright color like this. It's kind of like a chocolate chip in your chocolate chip cookie. The colors of the changing leaves up in the trees really make things pop. Here I'm adding some deep woods shadows below the foliage. The scene that I'm painting here is Presque Isle Park. It's a city park located at Marquette, Michigan, of course along Lake Superior. It's a favorite among locals for in the summertime for picnics and then go swimming and just to sit out and watch the lake on a park bench or a gazebo. This knife I'm using now is a large teardrop shaped knife. It looks like a pie server, but it's really too thin to be serving any pies with. That pie would just fall right off of it. It's just a floppy little piece of metal. Anyway, I'm taking the paint that I've laid down previously and just kind of shaping it and sculpting it into the shapes of the trees and leaves and sort of rounding things over. I'm going to continue to define and shape this part of this grass that comes down this hill and meets the cliffs. I'm putting in some dark mid-tones right here in this mid-foreground. I want to start defining some of these rocks along the lake shore. Well, after playing in the water for a little bit, I'm going to add some lighter tones to these rocks. These rocks are kind of a reddish-orange sandstone. They've been knocked down and torn apart and rolled around and taken away by the lake and then spit back up right on this little rocky beach here. I'm adding even darker tones to the sandstone, further bringing out the lighter tones and defining the shape of these rocks a little bit more. Just like before, I'm going to start shaping these rocks and rounding things over with this teardrop shaped knife. This part's a lot like sculpting. I have these blobs of paint on the canvas that I've laid down previously, and I'm using this round knife to shape them and sculpt them into something that I want to see. I'm adding more dark shadows, and now I'm going to add some light highlights. The key is contrast. Contrast will help give your painting a 3D feel and will give it depth. I'm bringing some of that highlight color down to this beach area and letting it kind of glop together with some of the pinks and the mid-tone colors and even the dark colors. I'm going to start indicating a little bit of wave action right here close to the shore. As we get close to the shore, you begin to see some of the colors of the ground through the water, and that's what I'm going to indicate here. Bringing some of that sky color down into the water right here. Remember, the water is reflecting the sky. I'm also going to show here where the water is breaking on the rocks. I'm using my pie server knife again to blend this water in and streak these waves and shape some of these splashes. I'm using the smaller teardrop knife to sort of sculpt and carve and paint these ripples and waves into this water. Presque Isle is French for almost island. It's a 323-acre peninsula. Originally, it was designated as a government lighthouse reservation, but through the efforts of Peter White, a bill was passed by the United States Congress giving the island to the city of Marquette. It later became Presque Isle Park. Now I'm adding some almost pure white with a little bit of yellow ochre mixed in with it to these rocks where the sunlight would be hitting these rocks. And of course, some more sculpting. Here in the background, I'm going to show where the water is meeting the land and kind of splashing a little bit more in the mid-foreground. Add some highlights here and there in the water where the sun might be catching some high points in the water. I'm going to add a little bit of dark, give a little contrast, more shape to that water. Blend some of it in a little bit better. Well, I'm just about done with this painting. I'm just going to put some finishing touches on it here and there, kind of define things a little bit better. I hope you've enjoyed watching me paint this. If you'd like to see this painting or other paintings, please go to my website, www.artofjohnfrench.com. Thank you.